Hello, and welcome to my life, my story. I have been sitting for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks trying to think of the best way to share my story, to tell people what's going on with me, to share with everyone that I've been ill and things are getting worse and not looking good. I have today alone tried to sit down and write what to say, what I feel, so I can know exactly what I wanted to say when I make this video for my friends and family, for strangers, whoever to see. But as I went over my notes, all of this is just some of it. I realized there is no way, there's no words and no form of explanation to really explain it, but to just talk about it and in hopes that at the end of the video, you will understand me as the patient Melody and not the Melody that I used to be if you know me from my past. And if you don't know me at all, then this will be your time to get to know who I am now. So this video is being recorded in general. So therefore, I don't have to make one over for family and then for friends and then for social media. This video is for any and everybody out there in the world. And of course, I'll be sharing this video first with my friends and family, my close friends and family, before I release it to the public and eventually reach out to news stations, radio stations, and everywhere to try to get my story out there because I don't want to go down without fighting. I'm nervous as hell because all I think about is the person watching this video right now, or the people watching this video right now, what they feel when they see me, what they're going to feel when they hear what I have to say. What will they feel after they hear it all? Will they be able to process it? Will you be able to accept what is happening? A lot of it is not going to make sense to you because a lot of it doesn't make sense to us because we've been going through this for almost 2 years and we still are very confused on a lot of categories of what's happening. And I'm tired of trying to wait till we get the answer, the right answer to each problem that I have. And I realize that I may be running out of time, so I no longer can wait. So I want to consider this part one to my life, to what's happening with me, to my journey, to my movement that I'm starting called See Me, Hear Me, Patient Advocacy. And what that will be me sharing my life experiences in the healthcare field, what's going on with me, how I advocate for myself, how I've gotten to where I am because I stood up for myself in the healthcare system. And I'm not doing this to bash the healthcare system. Let me make that very clear before I get into details. But I am doing this because we must be heard. Us as patients, we should be heard. I have learned through this journey that so many... That's my Dexcom beeping. I'm pretty sure my glucose is probably high. But that's normal. That noise you hear, I deal with all day, every day. But I'm going to turn this around for a second so you can see my journey thing. But hopefully it focuses. See Me, Hear Me, Patient Advocacy. You'll start seeing that everywhere around my social medias. My GoFundMe's, whatever I do, you're going to see that is my purpose. I feel like that's my purpose in life right now is I can't save myself. So my story is going to save somebody else. So let me get to it. Okay. I'm going to try my best to explain this so that it's not confusing. Hopefully it doesn't be too long, but I can say it's going to take time and patience for you to get through this. And I encourage you to watch it to the end to get a full understanding of what's going on here. I know a lot of my friends and family that are close to me have been in such denial that I've became ill to a point of I may be soon dying and I'd rather be dead because of what I'm going through. And I need them to not be in denial anymore. I need you to accept that this could be happening and I'm okay with that. And I need you to understand that the next surgery that I plan on having, I don't want to have it. I am still against it, but I have chosen to move forward with it because of my kids and my husband, and asked me to give it a try. But we are now also still very hesitant into doing it because all the risks that come along with it, and then the chance of it not working. I've been through several surgeries where they thought it was going to fix this problem and that problem, and it didn't, and everything keeps failing. So at this point, I just want to live out my days and just wait for my time because I'm miserable. I don't have the fight in me anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. But let me try to stick to a certain thing. I'm gonna try my best to get through this without crying. I cry every day, 3 or 4 times a day, because this shit is exhausting. It's not fair. It's unfair, but it is what it is. Life is what it is, and I just have to take it and roll with it. So before I tell you more about who I am, I'm reading off of a screen, so I'll be looking back and forth, but to try to stay on point. But before I tell you who I am and my purpose with the See Me, Hear Me patient advocacy movement, I created, hold on, this is already hard. I created this GoFundMe because the past 2 years we've been dealing with my health. We have taken big financial hits. With the surgeries I am about to go through, first one being next week, July 6th, it will require my husband to take lots of time off of work with FMLA. We would have to put the business on hold or in slow mode, which means we're going to take really big financial hits. My husband and kids are already struggling enough daily to cope with what is happening to me, and if I can't do anything else, try to move this over here so I can feel like I'm looking at y'all. So if I can't do anything else for them, I can raise money to help with our obligations, and this will also help me write my book that will give the world insights from the patient end of things, and this would help me help others advocate for themselves. I feel it is too late to save myself, and I'm okay with that. So I will use my experiences and pray they continue to help people all over the world. I plan to share my story to news stations, radio, whoever will hear it, but here is more about me. My name is Melody. I'm a mom, a wife of 4 beautiful kids, successful business owner, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and so much more. But out of all those things, excuse me, but out of all those things a person can be in life, unfortunately, I am a patient, one that has become a project of the healthcare system that is supposed to help us, guide us, and provide the care and tools we need to live a fulfilling life. We wake up one day and feel off, maybe a headache, maybe a sore body part, a simple cough. The list goes on. What do we do when these things happen? We head to the store and we go buy over-the-counter medicine, hopeful that we will feel better. But as days pass, still no improvement. We then, if lucky to have insurance or you're financially able to, we then call and schedule an appointment with our PCP or local urgent care. And if you aren't so lucky to have the insurance or the money, you head to your local emergency room, right? And then you racked up medical bills. Well, June 5th, 2020 changed my life forever. My kids found me unconscious and had to get my husband, and I had no clue the day would be the beginning of my life changing forever for the worse. Today, June 27th, that's gonna be it again. Today, June 27, 2022, a little over 2 years since that day, my health declines daily. I have a team of over 30 doctors receiving care at the unique Mayo Clinic and UT Southwestern and Baylor. Still, no improvement. I have concluded that I can no longer save myself, but I can use my health journey to help others out there and make doctors see them and hear them, and not every patient and not every patient will be your normal patient. My goal is to help others out there learn to advocate for themselves and not leave their care decisions solely in the doctor's hands. I am in no way saying our healthcare system is terrible or hurting us, but only here to start a movement to make doctors aware we are more than just a patient you sit in the office with for 30 minutes. We are our only advocates. We must speak up. Follow my journey on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok under See Me, Hear Me Patient Advocacy. I'm getting ready to go through some very tough surgeries again. This has caused a financial burden on my family and would help us during this time. But please continue to watch as I break down more of what's going on. So that is my introduction. That is on my GoFundMe. So you can get an idea of where this all started. Um, I'm going to try to break this down the best I can. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot to process. So I'm going to kind of start backwards and then go back to the beginning. So the surgery that I have been told I need to have is a G tube. I have to get a G tube placed into my stomach that I would have to now feed myself through because we can't figure out why, but I have a major issue with metabolizing foods. So therefore I am suffering really bad from malnutrition and malabsorption of anything that goes into me. So like medicines, foods, anything. Say for instance, they give me a medicine that's 500 milligrams. I may be getting 10% of that 500 milligrams. So therefore my body is not responding to anything that they're giving me. Very rarely does something work. Or for instance, when I put me to sleep for anesthesia, I don't go to sleep right away. I don't have issues with anesthesia, going to sleep and been awakening, delayed awakening, breathing issues, cardiac issues, the list goes on. So they want me to have a G2 place. And I originally said no. I said, I don't want that. And they told me I needed to because if not, then I will continue to decline and pretty much die because eventually the body cannot run anymore if it doesn't have any gas, basically. If I'm not giving the body what it needs, the proper foods, if my body not getting the proper medicines, the hydration that it needs, then of course that means problems happen. That's kind of like driving a car with no gas or knowing that the brakes are rubbing. If you keep driving the car and the brakes are rubbing, eventually you're going to mess up your rotors and so on. So that's kind of what's happening with the body. And so that surgery was supposed to happen today. Originally, we scheduled for the surgery to happen in August of 2022 because we know the risk that we are taking every time that I'm placed under sedation. There's a good chance I will not wake up because of my issue with anesthesia. And so we call ourselves wanting to postpone it to August so I can enjoy the summer with my kids, take the Disney vacation we were supposed to take. But unfortunately, we've been told I need to do it now. It's best that we do it now because I'm just deteriorating more and more and more. My body is breaking down more and more each day. Other body parts are being affected. Pretty much everything on me hurts. Everything and anything you can think of has been hurting or affected. So June 5th, 2020, when the world was shut down with COVID, we were sitting on the back of the truck and I ended up just not feeling well, right? And out of nowhere, everything around me just got dark and my ears were ringing. And the next thing I remember was the kids trying to get me up. I was unconscious, but I heard everything around me. Husband came in. I guess they thought I was pranking. And when they realized I wasn't, they called 911. I was rushed to the hospital. I was not able to speak or move, but I heard everything around me. And that was by far the scariest day of my life. And still to this day now, we do not know why I passed out that day and why that happened. But since that day, my life has not been the same. Everything keeps declining. So now we're at the point where it's so many things going wrong that it's hard for the doctors to fix one thing without hurting another. So it's like, and I'm sorry if this goes all over the place. I'm just talking off the top of my head. And that's my next come again. And I'm trying to give it to you the best I can, but it's so much and it's overwhelming. But okay, so after the 25th, June 5th, 2020 or whatever, that's when I had to start wearing a glucose monitor to monitor my numbers, my highs and lows, because we felt that I was suffering from adrenal issues, Addison disease, right? So that was the endo that I was seeing at the time. I was advised that I had Addison's, and okay, now we can do this, this, and this, and that. Okay, so we started that process, and not much changed. I started getting worse. More things started hurting. More labs started coming back abnormal. More things started to go wrong. Fast forward to now. I'm going to skip over the entire year because this past year has been hell for me. Every day, my Dexcom goes off 100 times a day. I go from 200 and something to 40 something in minutes, and that's not good. It makes you feel really, really, really bad. Most days I cannot get out of bed without forcing myself to get up. And I'm just tired of that battle. I'm tired of getting up and suffering and being in pain and going to appointments being hopeful that today will be the day they say, hey, we got to figure it out. Or, oh my God, this medicine did help. No, nothing helps. Every time I go to the doctor, it's something more, it's something worse. So I'm going to go over, I'm just going to do this first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over everything that's wrong. Okay. Based on what the doctors have given me, what we know, what we found, and then go from there. Unfortunately, this is a paper that I carry around. My husband has one in his wallet. My oldest daughter has one, and then I carry one, so that the medical bracelet that I usually wear will tell you where to look to find out what medicines I'm taking, what's my history, what conditions I have. So I'm just going to start with what conditions that I have and go from there. And then I'll explain to you my life and what's happening and how we deal with it. I mean, it's a lot, and I'm trying my best to explain this the best I can without making this too long, but it may have to be in segments or whatever. But as of today, June 27, 2022, it is 11:03 p.m. Central Time. These are the diagnoses that I have, and the list goes on, okay? I have hypoglycemia, hypotension. My blood pressure goes really low, and I have meds that I take daily, steroids daily that I take for that. I wear a Dexcom on my belly. That's what you keep hearing. That's beeping. It monitors my sugars 24/7 all day long. It lets me know if I'm too high, too low, if my rate is going too high, too fast, if it's dropping too fast. And my husband get the alerts, and one of my close friends get the alerts. If my numbers get too low, I have to take action fast, or it can be deadly for me, basically. I have to give myself an injection, and then report to the local hospital within 15 minutes of the injection. Usually I do not. I'm going to be honest, I don't, because going to the ER, they always make things worse. If you do not properly know how to treat a patient that is going through what I'm going through, then you can make it worse. So I never go. I always wait to just see my doctor. So anyway, so hypoglycemia, hypotension, POTS. If you don't know what POTS is that's the abbreviation for, I hope I'm saying this right, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, okay? So that means that I deal with fluctuation of my blood pressure all day long. So if I'm laying down, it's one thing. If I'm sitting up, it's another. If I stand up, it's another. If I lean forward too fast or lay down too fast, turn my head left and right too fast, I get dizzy, lightheadedness, headache. That's just some of the symptoms that I deal with daily. On top of having hypotension and hypoglycemic, imagine trying to control all three of those things at the same time. Headaches, lightheadedness, dizziness, fatigue, drowsiness, all at the same time from different diagnosis. So now then, because of all that's been going on over the years, the malnutrition, the malabsorption of food and medicines, is now affecting my heart. I've had to wear a cardiac monitor. Every time I'm in the hospital, they do it. I wear one, and I've had to wear one at home. And so I deal with NSVT, non-sustained ventricular tachycardia, palpitations, arrhythmias, bradycardia, ROT, PVC. None of it is going to make sense to the average person. But you can Google those things. Again, NSVT, palpitations, sinus arrhythmias, sinus bradycardia, ROT, PVC. Yeah, that thing goes off all day. I have so many different things that I deal with, and it's just stressful. As we speak, my anxiety is hitting and palpitations are there, but I'm so used to feeling them that it doesn't faze me anymore. So yes, I have cardiac issues. After the cardiac issues, I have psoriasis. Now, when people hear psoriasis, they instantly try to tell me how to fix psoriasis. But let me explain to you, I don't have normal psoriasis. I have a very rare form of psoriasis called SIBO psoriasis, SEBO psoriasis. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures. They will not be nice to look at. But I'm going to show you some pictures of what the SIBO psoriasis does to me. When it flares up, when it first started, I thought it was just, all these years, I thought it was just dry scalp. Until it started to spread to my face and change my skin around my ears, my neck, and everything, to where I cannot be in the sun for a long time. When I sweat, it feels like my face is on fire, like my skin is peeling off of my face. You don't see it, but I feel it. The only way you'll see it is if I allow it to get to this stage that I'm about to show you in these pictures. But because now I know when it's going to happen and what triggers it, I know how to keep it from getting this bad again. And this was the worst thing to ever go through. You cannot scratch it. You couldn't put anything on it. I can't even simply wash my hair without it burning, no matter what it is, even medical shampoo that they gave me. I cannot touch my scalp. It hurts. It hurts like hell. My face is irritated very easily behind my ears, inside of my ears, all along here. I tend to break out with my psoriasis. So I'm going to show you a few pictures of the psoriasis so you can kind of see what happens. Again, these are not good pictures. These are very embarrassing for me, but I mean, the only way you can get a full story of understanding of what I'm going through and have gone through and will continue to go through if you see it for yourself. So I'm going to turn around and let you see. And this is very hard for me because if you know me, I love my hair. I love my face. And to go through this and be afraid to be in the shower too long or go outside and be in the sun too long with my kids because of the damage it does to my skin. And nobody understands why. I say, oh, I don't like to go outside or I can't be out here too long, but this is why. You're going to see now why. So this is one of the conditions here. Let me see. So hopefully you can see well enough, but if you look at these, they started as dry patches of skin. Or whatever. I'm trying to zoom in as close as I can for you to see. But I'm going to show you how bad it got. Here, hopefully. Okay, so like in this picture here, if you see the white along my scalp, it started peeling like snake skin, literally burning and peeling like snake skin. As time went on, I realized that it was getting worse, right? So they started to treat it. But once they started to treat it, it caused this to happen. I don't know how good you can see it. I'll also upload these pictures on my Facebook and my other social media so you can see better. But if you look here, that hyperpigmentation, I don't know how good it's showing, but I'm really, really light here. And you see spots. And then you see right here, that light area. Once they treated it, I started to change colors all over my face. And I was so depressed because I had no idea what was happening to me. Here's another one. Do you see how bad this is? This is what happens if I'm in the sun too long. This is why I stay inside. I don't like to sweat. I try to avoid the heat. Here's another one close up right there. It's happening. So I had to deal with this. I was so embarrassed to leave my house. I wasn't able to wear braids anymore because if you know, I love my braids. But if you see, I don't know how well you guys can see that. But if you see this hyperpigmentation, so I went into hiding. You see it's all along my eyebrows. Okay, there it is. All along my eyebrows, you see how I'm different colors? That burned. All of that burns when it happens. All those spots on my face, it happens in my ear, behind my ear. All of that. So that alone is not easy to deal with. So it was very hard. Like, let me show you this one other one here. Like, look at this. That light area is all where my skin burnt off. It was literally like snake skin peeling off, burning really, really bad. So you got that one. And then you have this one. And then you see that? So, okay, anyway, those are pictures of different phases that I go through. So, but now that they took a biopsy, I still have the mark there of my skin. They dug into my face and took a piece of my skin and biopsied it, and it came back as psoriasis. And there's no cure for it. It's very hard to keep under control. You have to stay on top of it at all times or it gets worse. So that alone is very depressing because I'm on social media all the time. I make videos all the time. And to go through that and not be able to show my face, or that's what my face looked like, it's very hard. And that caused severe anxiety and depression for me. That wasn't easy for me. It's a few more. There's another picture. I'm trying to find the other ones right quick to show what happens with my skin, like on the back of my neck when it happens. Give me a second. It's in one of these. Okay, hold on. I got so many different albums. I am trying to find the one that's going to show you my how my neck is when it happens. I think it's this one. Okay, so also when it happens, this is I don't know if you can see that, but see, it forms there. It burns like hell. This happens along my neckline, usually along this here. And for years, we never knew what it was. They kept telling me it was eczema and all of this. And I knew it wasn't because it felt different. It wasn't right. I knew I wasn't crazy. Here's another one. Do you see how bad that is? That hurts. This happens at least once a week, twice a week, multiple times a month. I have to go through that. And it's no fun. It's depressing. It hurts. It burns, whatever. So that's one of the things, the SIBO psoriasis that I deal with. So moving on, I deal with adrenal insufficiency. Now, this is where it gets complicated. I've had doctors tell me I have Addison disease, and then I have one that say, no, you don't. I have one that say you deal with adrenal insufficiencies. So I get to run around daily with it. To recently find out lately, I got an MRI done recently last month, May, just to find out that my pituitary gland is shrinking. The pituitary gland is very small, pea size. Again, me talking, I may sound like a doctor because I deal with them every day, all day. So I hope all this is making sense to you, but it's this small. It's very small, and it controls a lot in the body. And if your pituitary gland is not functioning right, it can affect every aspect of your body and your functioning of the body, which is pretty much happening with me. Along with that, I take steroids for that daily, and that doesn't help to have adrenal insufficiency because having hypoglycemic, hypotension, the cardiac issues, all of those work against each other. You can take a med for this, but you can't take the other medicine you need because it will conflict with the medicine I take for cardio. So what do? You're left to suffer either one. You got to pick which one you rather suffer with, cardiac issues or this issue, these side effects or those side effects, and that's not fair. So fast forward, I have liver disease. I've been told it was fatty liver. I've also been told it's been hepatic stenosis. And like my biliary, I hope I'm saying this right, y'all. Don't judge me for my wording. My biliary tree is showing signs of stenosis. Now, I've been to several different doctors and all have said the same thing, but yet we have yet to find the cause. And every doctor is afraid to go in and put a stent or go in deeper into that because it's so narrow. The risk of perforation is so high, they don't want to do it. But here I am as a patient begging them, hey, let's do something because this is not getting better. My liver is 2 to 3 times the size it should be. And I'm sitting here thinking, what are you going to do about it? This is not going to help me. This is hurting me. It's only going to get worse. And it did over time, has gotten worse. So where there's days I itch all day long because my levels are off, my enzymes are off. And if the liver isn't working right, I mean, other parts of the body isn't working right. So anyway, fast forward. I do not know how to say this word at all, but it starts with an N, nephrolitis. I want to say NEPHROLITHIASIS is also something else that I am dealing with. That's my next dealing again, beeping again. That is in regards to my kidneys, and my kidneys do not function as they should, basically. I keep developing kidney stones or they never go anywhere, and we cannot figure out why I keep developing the calcification on my kidneys. Obviously, kidney stones mean pain. That means that the kidneys are not flushing right. The liver is not flushing right, which is causing even more problems for me. And it's like, what do you do? What do you do in the case? Like every doctor wants to do the wait and see. So I'm dealing with that daily, pain on and off from that. They don't want to do anything about it because the risk of me being placed under anesthesia outweighs them going in to remove it because it's not big enough, nor is it causing a blockage. So until it does that, they won't do anything about it because my risk with anesthesia is way higher than any procedure out there. But fast forward, I deal with severe migraines. I have really bad insomnia. I average maybe 3 to 5 hours of sleep every 24 hours. And it's with meds. I take 2 sleep meds at nighttime, 2 of the strongest sleep meds out there in the world, and I still do not sleep. A lot of people thinking, oh, she can't sleep. That's nothing. You don't understand how important sleep is to the body until you go through it. You don't understand how frustrating it is to want to go to sleep, but you can't sleep because your insomnia is so bad and your body is starving for food and for nutrients that you can't sleep. You not being able to sleep leads to frustration, anxiety, depression, exhaustion, everything. It causes your body to shut down. It's like a car running out of gas. It's running on fumes. It's going to shut down at some point, and that's basically what's happening with me. But I will be seeing a sleep disorder doctor and a neuro so we can figure out why. Why all of a sudden I'm not able to sleep. That's been going on for about 2 years. About a year and a half too. Even with my sleep meds that I take approximately 10:30, I don't get up until I wake up every 2 hours still, even with medicines, and I have to redose again just to go back to sleep, or I just stay up. Um, I also have celiac, but the difference is I don't have full celiac. I know that sounds crazy, but I carry the trait for celiac disease, the HLA-DQT variant. That's not going to make sense to you, but I don't know how to explain that. Basically, if I'm exposed to a certain amount of gluten higher, based on my understanding of how this is broken down to me, that is when I'll deal with the side effects of celiac. Which makes it complicated because we have yet to figure out why. And my kids have to be tested as well for this because it is something that you inherit, you carry on from someone else. So it came from one side of my family. I can't tell you who. Of course, I have metabolic syndrome. That's obvious. That's always been there for years. You can look it up to see what it is. Metabolic syndrome. I don't want to go too far into that one because that's the least of my concern. I do suffer major depression, anxiety, and PTSD because of what happened on June 5th, 2020. My depression is really bad. So there's been days this past 2 or 3 months have been really hard. There's been days where I just wanted to end things myself, take myself out of my own misery. When I go to bed at night, that's the highlight of my day, going to sleep so I don't have to think about my pain or the appointments or how I feel like I'm a burden to my family. And then when I wake up the next morning, I'm actually sad. I'm disappointed that I woke up because I just want it to be over. I want it to be over because nothing is getting better. Everything is getting worse. And I just no longer feel my purpose is to be here. And I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of being in pain. So I do get help. I take meds. I have a counselor that I talk to every week, if not more than a week. I have 2 psychologists. Everything. So I get the help. I have the support system, but there's nothing that anybody can say to me to make me feel any different. I'd rather be dead than alive because I am tired of suffering. And I don't expect anybody who's watching this to understand until you go through it. Because when you look at me, I get that a lot. Oh, you look good for what you're going through, or you don't look sick, or you don't act sick. I'm not sure what look sick's supposed to be like. Does a person who have HIV or AIDS look like they have it? No. Does people who have lupus look like they have it? No. Does a person who have ADHD look like they have it? Absolutely not. Does a person who has heart failure look like it? No. So that is the stupidest shit I hear ever. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. The stupidest stuff I hear ever is when somebody tell me, the thing beeps all day. It is like a nightmare. As you don't look sick. I'm glad I don't look like what I'm going through because I will look pretty damn awful and I don't want that. So the least I can do is look good while being sick. The next 2 things is really hard for me to talk about and discuss because at the age of 34, I never thought that it would happen to me. I never thought that it could. Because of what I'm going through, all the symptoms I'm going through, all the diseases I've developed, problems, I have began to deal with urinary and bowel incontinence, basically. The ability to control my bladder and my bowel is becoming complicated. Bladder more so than bowel. So no, I don't use it on myself or anything like that, but it's a lot harder. I go to the bathroom very frequently. I have to be very mindful of making sure I go And about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I woke up out of my sleep in the middle of the night, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and I was wet. I thought maybe I was just sweating because I deal with night sweats because of the medicine. I don't know. But I got up just to realize that there was feces in the bed. Um, Saying it out loud and sharing it with the world or with anybody besides my husband, it's hard. Hell, I was scared to call him at work and tell him I didn't know what to do. I was sleep, in the sleep, and had no control over my bowel. It only happened once, but that's all it takes is for something to happen once to traumatize me. And so every time I go to sleep, I'm thinking twice, what if it happens again today? What if this happens now? It happens then? That is very embarrassing to say, but I have to realize I can't be embarrassed about something I have no control over. So since then, it has been very hard. I do see a urologist and I see a GI doctor. And they want to place this thing, I forgot what it's called because I don't want it, into my back that will control my bladder, um, um, or whatever. And it's kind of like a pacemaker, how a pacemaker is for the heart. It would kind of be like my pacemaker for my my urinary tract. And I'm just I don't even know what else to say about that. But to wake up and to see that and go through that, and I just stood there and cried. I cried for at least an hour before I finally called him at work, and I eventually told a friend about it because like that was just reminding me that I'm getting sicker. At that moment I realized that I am losing control of my own body and that my time is coming, and I'm okay with that. It has not happened again as far as the bowel, but I'm not shocked if it doesn't soon, if it won't happen more frequently. But it is what it is. You deal with it. Um, I do deal with abnormal thyroid. I have hyperthyroidism, thyroidism. I'm just trying to say that right. My tongue is twisted. So I deal with the fluctuation of the side effects of your thyroid not functioning right. 1 month is good, the next month is not. And if you know anything about thyroid problems, you know how hard and frustrating that can be going through that. I also have Graves' disease, which affects my eyes. Graves' disease, Graves disease. I already cannot see as it is. If I take my contacts out, all I see is color. I don't see words. I don't see anything but color. You can be standing this close to my face and I still won't be able to see you. All I will see is a blob of color. So everything that's happening is affecting my vision as well, from time to time. Um, as I mentioned earlier, I wear the Dexcom because I have hypoglycemic and I'm pre-diabetic. So trying to balance both of those is very hard. I do take an injection every day, to help control and balance that out. Does it help? No. It's only getting worse. And as you hear, my Dexcom keeps beeping because nothing is working. Of course, everybody knows I'm anemic. Um, oh boy, it's a lot. Um, I've dealt with tumors in my life. My first tumor they found was in my knee. It was benign. It was PVNS. I cannot say the word. It's very long, but it's PVNS, pigmented villanova. I can't say the word. We did take that tumor out. They got it completely out. It was wrapped around my joints in the right knee. But unfortunately, last week, we find out that it may be back, and I am scheduled to get an MRI on this Saturday, to have my imaging done of my both knees actually and my hip area to see if the tumor has returned in any of those areas because I am now losing feeling in my legs and my feet. There are some days I cannot move my legs or my feet. They go numb or they feel like they're dead weight. The tingling, the numbness is getting much worse, happening more frequently. I'm starting to walk with a limp on some days where I can't place weight on it. So there's a good chance that it may be back, and I'm scared because that last knee surgery was very hard to go through. And losing feeling in your legs and your feet when you're trying to walk, and especially now that we live in a two-story, going up and down the stairs, there's some days I can't even go upstairs to be with the kids because I'm in pain, or I can't get up the stairs because unfortunately moving makes it worse, which is why I'm at home 90% of the time. So Saturday that MRI will get done, and we'll see if it's back, and or we'll see what the pain was causing the pain. They are saying bursitis could be the reason it's happening in the femur joint. They're saying that I may be developing fibromyalgia, so we're not ruling that out. There's a list of things that they're speculating but have yet to rule out because this is a new symptom. Of course, everybody know I had the tumor removed out of my shoulder right here. I don't know how well you can see the scar, but if you see this dark area right here, I recently had to get it biopsied again. So that is a newly fresh scar, this area here. I had this tumor removed in 2018, and it was not benign. This one was DFSP. They got everything out, clear margins, thankfully, but it started out as a mold. I want to show you this picture because we, especially African Americans, we get moles and we think it's normal. We see a black spot and think it's normal, but I had to learn the hard way. I had that black spot on my shoulder for at least a year or two before I said something about it because it became painful. But it started off looking like this here. I'm going to turn it around. This here, that circle you see is what they drew around it before they biopsied it. But it looked like a regular mole. It was a slightly raised bump. I thought it was a mole, didn't think it was anything. And then come to find out, once they did the biopsy, the entire time I've been walking around with a tumor in my shoulder. And that was the DFSP, dermatofibroma sarcoma protuberans. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's DFSP. They did get it out. We thought it came back because my thing started to raise again. So they biopsied right here. Thankfully, right now, it came back fine. It was just scar tissue keloid. I don't heal easily, so I keloid very easily. But if you have any black spots on you anywhere that look like a mole, that's growing in size, it has a lump, I don't care what it is on your body, please get it checked. You can never be safe. You can never be too safe because we have one now on the back of my knee that we're watching. And then it even can happen on your face. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this spot here, it started off like that on my shoulder and right here. And we think those are just regular marks. No, those can be the sign of a tumor because that type of tumor, it grows from the outside, from the inside out. And so I even check my kids because it is hereditary. So I watch them to check their bodies to make sure they're not getting anything, if they get anything that's changing in size. But that's the least of my concern. Thankfully, that is benign. I do deal with, being able to move my shoulder as much as I used to. I get pain there still a lot, but it is what it is. I'll take it over everything else that I'm going through. I'm really kind of tired of reading over this here. So I want to explain to you how I get to where I am now and why everyone should be worried that I may not make it too much longer. So everybody knows that I had the gastric sleeve done in March of 2018. I had that surgery done shortly after having the birth of my last child because I gained a lot of weight. I wanted to get healthy. And I felt that was the way to do it. I had tried losing weight on my own. I would lose it, gain it back. And after dying, almost dying, trying to give birth to him and my third child, I knew change needed to happen. So I did the surgery. Surgery went well. Well, for me, I would say well. I did end up in ICU, but that was because of my issue with anesthesia only. I was on the breathing machine, but it was because of the anesthesia issue, not the surgery itself. So anyway, surgery went great. I lost a lot of weight. I was feeling good. Life was great. But then June 5th, 2020 happened. And little did I know that you can develop side effects and complications from your surgery years after it happened. So a lot of people ask me that question, is my issues related to my gastric sleeve surgery. Yes, some of them are. My number one issue is related to that being able to control my levels of insulin and hypoglycemic derails from that because I have, hold on, I'm trying to find the paper so I say it right. I know I'm not going to say it right, even with the paper. I literally just had it. Okay, I have what they called, they would usually call it dumping syndrome. So I don't, it's something similar to dumping syndrome. If you're a bariatric patient, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, then you can Google. But prandial, I hope I'm saying it right, hyperinsulinemic hypoglycemia. It happens basically, it's a complication of bariatric surgery, and it occurs at only to about 0.1 to 0.3% of patients. And lucky me, I'm in that 0.1 to 0.3%. But what makes it even harder is that I have that plus all of my other conditions, which is causing a daily effect, basically. It's causing a ripple effect that everything is starting to not work. The body is starving. The body is overworking. I have a pancreatic rest. I don't know if you know what that is. A piece of my pancreas is inside of my stomach. So even though it's in my stomach, they will not remove it or cannot remove it because it still functions like the pancreas. It still releases insulin. It still does everything the other part of the pancreas does, except it's in my stomach. So imagine being a bariatric patient with half of a stomach, which is a sleeve. Everybody thinks the sleeve is a tool or an object they put in us. No, the gastric sleeve is where they take our stomach and cut it out and leave us with just enough that's the shape of a banana. And so anyway, fast forward as after June 5th happened and we realized I was having issues regulating my sugars, keep my insulin under control, they converted me to bypass. The bypass was done not for weight loss. It was done because it should have helped the episodes of hypoglycemic, my acid reflux, my GERD. In my case, it did not. It made it worse. My episodes started happening more. Fast forward, life got harder and harder and harder. Medicine after medicine, doctor after doctor, procedure after procedure. Fast forward to December of this past December, they said, okay, let's try this. After we've tried all the meds in the world that could possibly help, none of them worked. We had one more option. If you Google what I just said, it was the postprandial hyperinsulinemic hypoglycemia. If you Google that, PHH, it will tell you there's only 3 options to cure that. Well, not a cure, but to possibly fix it. And I've already done the medications. I've already tried bariatric revision. Did not work. And the last option would be basically the G-tube, which is the surgery that is scheduled to happen next week. I will have a tube in my stomach that I would have to feed myself to and give myself hydration through. And I'm not okay with that. I told my family that I wouldn't even leave the house. I don't know how to process that. I'm 34. I'm 34. I'm young. I was living this fulfilling life, and now I'm homebound, and now you want to place this G-tube in me that I don't want, and that is the only option left for me, because we've tried everything else. So though it's not safe for me to go back into the operating room right now, my only hope into getting better will be the G-tube. If the G-tube shows improvement that helps, any improvement whatsoever, then I will eventually have another surgery called a duodenectomy. I cannot explain that surgery to you. You would have to Google it yourself to kind of understanding. It's a very rare surgery. I think 10 patients total that's been through it. I believe I'll be number 11 if I remember correctly with the doctor, or number 12. But it's a duodenectomy, duodenojejunOstomy. Basically, where they will go in and cut. I hope I'm explaining this right. They're going to go in and cut the intestines, pretty much remove them from the bottom where they're at, and they're going to reattach them to the remnant part of my stomach. If I'm saying that right. I hope I'm explaining that right to the best I can. Hold on, there's a picture. Okay, my doctor drew this picture for me. It's an ugly drawing, but okay, so I don't know how well you can see this, but this is the esophagus here, basically. And then over here is the stomach and everything at the bottom. Basically what they would do, you see this here, that part, they're going to take that piece from the bottom and reroute it to the part of the stomach I just showed you up here. So basically it will be bypassing certain parts of my stomach. So therefore my body has more time to absorb the food and stuff that I put into me or whatever, and in hopes to control the hypoglycemia, because it's definitely about to take me out. Because of my risk with anesthesia, my complications, my health history, both of these surgeries are risky, and I am very aware that I may not make it off the table with either one of these, and I'm okay with that. Again, I don't want to do the G-tube. I don't want to have a tube placed in me where I have to feed myself through it or drink or anything. But for my kids, I will try. But I want to make it very known that I won't be okay. I won't be okay with it. I will be even more depressed, even more angry, even more frustrated, because why? Why me? I'm 34 and it's so frustrating. But I get up every day. Every day I wake up with a headache. I go to bed with a headache. I have to take breaks. If I decide to cook a meal, I have to take breaks just to finish cooking a meal for my family. I can't do laundry without getting exhausted. I can't walk down to a mailbox without feeling like I just ran a marathon. I go to bed in pain. I wake up in pain. A lot of days I cannot eat. I cannot drink. A lot of days I'm angry because I'm in so much pain. I want it to go away. A lot of days I don't even know how to explain this to you. I'm struggling, and I didn't even go over everything that's going on. But the hardest things that I'm dealing with is short-term memory loss. My memory is affected as well, to where I am forgetting the simplest things in life, and therefore I don't drive anymore by myself. I don't go anywhere by myself anymore. And I have to write down everything. Every time I take a medicine, every time I eat anything or drink anything, I have to text it to my husband and let him know what I ate, what medicine I took. So if anything happens where like I pass out or have an episode, they'll be able to relate to like the EMTs. Okay, she had this last and that last. And I take a total of 15 meds a day. This is my schedule: morning, mid-afternoon, late evening, nighttime. And these are my weeklies and as needed. A total of 15 medicines. And that along is hard, you know, to be so young and have to take so many. I don't want this video to be too long. I haven't even really scratched the surface of everything that I deal with. It's so much harder to talk about it. It's easier if you see it, if you're with me day to day and can see what I go through and how it affects me, than it is trying to explain. That's my number one annoyance right there, is that damn Dexcom. But to everybody out there that's been following my journey, I want y'all to know that I've fought. I want y'all to know that I have done everything I possibly could as a patient to be here. But I'm tired. Okay. But until the day he calls me home, until that day comes where I'm no longer here, I will tell my story. I will update after every appointment. I will continue to write my book. I will continue to talk about moments where my life almost ended at the hands of a doctor and their mistakes. I will talk about how the lack of the healthcare system and how doctors and nurses are so they're so by the book. They fail you because they don't think outside the box. They spend 30 minutes with you in a room and think they got you all figured out. Oh, your blood pressure looks fine today. So you're fine. No, that's not how it goes. That's not how it works. I am so tired of advocating for myself. You know how frustrating it is to have 31 doctors, including doctors at Mayo Clinic, UT Southwestern, Baylor. It doesn't get any better than that. And to still not be getting well. My hair is falling out, which is why I keep it done. The SIBO psoriasis that is happening. And we don't have no answer on to why. So why should I want to be here? I'm sorry to my friends, to my family, and to my kids, to my husband, dad. I don't want to fight anymore. And, I'm just tired. I'm tired of feeling like the guinea pig in their lab. I'm tired. And do you know how it feels to get up and you walk out of your room to go do something and then you completely forget what it is you were doing? Well, usually that's normal, but for me, that's not, because I genuinely will forget what the hell I was doing and I'll find myself angry. And sometimes that anger goes out towards my husband or towards my kids, and I don't even recognize who I am in the mirror anymore because I'm so upset at God, because I ask, why me? Why me? Why am I the one to go through this? I have 4 beautiful kids who need me. I have a husband that needs me, my friends, my family, my mom. People need me here. And I'm just tired, y'all. I'm tired. I'm hoping that somebody hears all this mess I just said and can figure out what went wrong or what is happening. But to wake up every day lightheaded, dizziness, fatigue, tired, can't eat, nauseous, body aches, hurting, arms going numb, feet going numb. I deal with swelling in my hands and my feet. That shit is hard. It's so hard to get up every single day feeling like that. Like, I'm trying to find the pictures where so like, for instance, I'm trying to find the one where like, look at this here. Let me make this bigger. Do you see this picture right here? That white in my head. This happens all through my scalp. This is the same thing I just showed you not too long ago that happens with my face. It happens all within my scalp to where I can't even part my hair without it hurting like hell. The list goes on, and nobody should have to live like that. Everybody keeps telling me, stay strong, fight, do this and do that. But y'all are not the one going through this. It takes me, the old me, if I sat down and made a grocery list, it took me 30 minutes to get a grocery list built, planned out, submitted. But now it takes me days just to submit a grocery order because my brain is just not working. I can't remember things. It doesn't want to work. I get defeated easily. It just fucking sucks. Life is not fair. And I understand why me? Why am I the one that's having to go through this? I'm trying to find these other pictures to show on what's happening with my abdominal. I deal with another thing that I deal with a lot is blood in my stool. I've had an EGD, I've had a colonoscopy, and all you ever get is the same old thing. Everything looks fine, but it can't be fine if I keep going through this, if this keeps happening. I'm going to show you something. I'm trying to find a picture on which album it's in, but the picture I'm about to show you, everybody knows I had a tummy tuck in August of 2021. I had a flat stomach. I felt great. Everything was good. But then all of a sudden, I started to notice that I was dealing with abdominal swelling. So, of course, I thought it was related to the tummy tuck. So I go see the doctor. We check for fluid. Nothing is there. But this pain continued to come, continued to hurt. And I'm still dealing with it to this day, to where if you see me, some days I look like I'm 5 months pregnant and I'm not. And I had a tummy tuck. Well, this is what I'm dealing with right now. It's funny because I got the same gown on. But do you see this picture? Do you see my belly? This is abdominal swelling. I swell like this every single day, hard as a rock. And they have no idea why. They had me on this medicine thinking bacterial overgrowth because of the outlet reduction that they did back in December. No, nothing has helped. They cannot figure out why, and that is painful. It is painful to go through. It hurts like hell. It interrupts my sleep daily. It hurts when I walk, and no clue why. It hurts when my decks come, like on this one here. You can see from the front view. You can see the swelling even from the front. That's my Dexcom. If you don't know what that is, that's the glucose monitor. And this is the swelling from the front view. And it hurts like hell. And I go through this every single day. I wake up in pain every single day. Like, I just wish it would just end. These damn doctors out here, all they see is a person. They come in their room and sit there. Some of them don't even take the time to read your information. And they come in and ask you the same questions on stuff you already filled out. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of not being heard. And don't get me wrong, some of my doctors are amazing. But to sum it all up, it's so much more I need to say. It's so much more I need to say, but I didn't want this to be too long, and it's already an hour long. But to my friends and to my family, I need y'all to know that when I decide to move forward with this surgery, whether it's July 6th, whether I push it out another week, I need y'all to know that if I do not make it through that surgery, please don't be sad. Just know that I was at peace. I'm actually okay with it. I'm hoping it ends soon, because as much as I love being here, I love my kids, I love my husband, I can't keep living like this. This is not the way to live. I didn't sign up for this. This is not me. I don't recognize myself most days. I'm angry most days, and nobody's there. Nobody's there. Everybody say I'm there if you need me. Call us if we need you. I mean, if we need them. But to be honest, nobody's really been there. But maybe 2-3 people have genuinely stood by that. And I can't do this alone anymore. And as you see, just off this video alone, my health is all over the place. And for the doctor to tell me that him himself would usually not take a patient into the operating room in my situation, but we have no other choice, that alone scares me. I feel like when I roll into that room, when I decide to go in for this surgery to get this G2 place, I feel like I'm not going to wake up. And a part of me is okay with that. I'm ready. I'm relieved. I'm ready. I'm tired. I have all my affairs in order. Everything is ready to go. I don't care anymore. So I may smile. I may still continue to be a mom, be a wife, but I am miserable. I am in pain. Every time you see me, I don't care how big my smile is, how small it is, I am in pain. And I'm hoping that somebody out there sit down and listen to everything that I said, write down my symptoms, and maybe point out something that we're missing. Because to wake up every day lightheaded, low blood pressure, sugar issue, nothing they've done is controlling my sugars. I take Creon 6-7 times a day. Nothing is helping. Injections not helping. Nothing is helping. We've changed diet. We've changed medicines. We've done everything that you could think of. Surgeries to try to fix this. And this is it for me. If this does not work, this is it. And I'm telling you now, if this does not work, I will end it myself. I am fucking tired. I'm tired of the pain and the suffering, and I need y'all to be okay with the fact that I don't want to be here anymore, okay? And so if I go through this surgery and I make it through, I then will have to deal with the mental effect and the emotional effect that will have on me that I have a G2 placed. I don't want. Like, how am I supposed to, like, what am I supposed to do with that? How am I supposed to live a fulfilling life with a G-tube? I won't even Google G-tube because I don't want to see what it looks like. I have no clue what I'm getting myself into. And I'm only going based on what I've been told because I cannot bring it to myself to look. But I know I need to. A part of me wants to still wait till August, make them wait till August to do this. But I know the longer I wait, the more I'm deteriorating, the more I'm hurting my insides. And if I have any chance of still being here, then I need to do this. But because I know what I've been through, and because I know how things turn out for me every time I go in for surgery and place under anesthesia, I've been making my, I don't want to say goodbye videos because we will see each other again, but sorry, having a pain as I speak. I've been making my videos for people and sending them to them. So when that time comes, I'm no longer with you guys. You'll have something of me and you'll know exactly how I felt about you. And I'm still making those videos daily for each and every person in my life. In order to go through this, my husband will have to be home a lot. And I don't know what the future looks like for us. I don't know what's going to happen. And just the thought of that alone makes me want to die because I'm a burden. Nothing that's going on with me is helping us. I don't want to see him stressed or my kids stressed or anything because of me. You know, I feel like I serve them a better purpose if I'm not here. And I know that sounds crazy, but life continues, bills continue, house continues, car notes, all that, daycare, all that still continues. And when I go through this surgery, he has to be there. He has to be on my side. When I come home, I'm going to need the help, the recovery. And how do you do that? How do I expect him to continue to work at GM, try to run the business and take care of me and take care of 4 kids? And then when we reach out and ask for help or tell people, hey, we need this, we need that, all it takes is for one person to tell us no, and we're done. We're not asking again. We're not going to ask anybody else. We'll just do it on our own. We'll just do it on our own and just let it be. And that's not fair because we have worked so hard to get to where we're at. God has finally placed me where I want to be in life, to give my kids a beautiful home, beautiful life, a great life, just to make me suffer every day in pain. And people wonder why we question God sometimes, because this can't be right. This can't be what you do. But I'm starting to learn. Oh my God, it hurts. I'm starting to learn that sometimes our purpose in life is to save others and not save yourself. And that's okay. We've sat down with my kids. We've had to talk. They know what risks I am taking. They know that there's a chance that their mom may not be here too much longer. And though they know, and though they know, and though they understand, I know it's hurting them and it's hurting me. I have cried so much, so I don't think I can cry anymore. So to anybody that's watching this, I need you to know that Mel tried. I tried. I fought as long as I could. And when that day comes, while I'm no longer here, just know I went in peace. My family knows that I do not want a funeral. They know my wishes. I don't want a funeral. I want to be cremated. I want them to bring me home. Bring me home with them. And I want a party. I don't want a funeral. I don't want the pastor and all that stuff. I want a party. Everybody that knows me knows that is what I live for. I live for bringing people together and party and decoration. So that is how I want you guys to celebrate my life, because I am about to face don't care how hard or how much you know that is coming. Nobody is ready to die. The fear of leaving those kids every day is hard. When my kids were in school, Maya hugs me every single morning. Even now, every morning she comes and hugs me. Every night she comes and hugs me. And I remember her telling me once that she was scared to go to school. She didn't like being at school because she was always afraid that when I got home, I wouldn't be there, or she would get news that I was gone. Every time I leave her sight now at home, go to the doctor, she wants to know what's going on, or if I'm coming back. Or like when I go to the hospital, I'm supposed to come home that same day, but I end up in there for 10 days, and they're asking what's wrong. Nobody is prepared to die. Nobody wants to die. We all want to live to be old, but unfortunately, we all are not so lucky to get that. So, to my kids, if you ever see this video, whether it's I'm still alive or if I'm gone, remember everything I told you, everything I've taught you, everything we've discussed. I taught you these things for a reason. I've told you these things for a reason. To my husband, thank you. Thank you for everything. 19 years and we've been through a lot. We've been through shit that should have broke us, that could have broken us, that has broken us. But we still stood strong for each other. Nothing can tear us apart. Nothing never has. Nothing never will. And I'm sorry that you're having to see your wife suffer. I'm sorry that this has been a burden on you. I see you trying to be strong, but it's okay not to be. I want you to understand I'm okay to go. And when I go, I want you to be at peace, knowing that I'm at peace and I'm no longer suffering. To my mom, we haven't always had the best relationship, and that's okay. Nobody's perfect, and nobody will ever be perfect. But I am thankful for you today. I'm thankful for all the good and the bad. Everybody isn't meant to be good at certain things. Everybody's not meant to understand certain things, and I know you do the best that you can. But if anything happens to where I go before you, know that I love you. And I'm thankful for everything that you've done and continue to do. There's so many people that I need to thank, but I can't do it. I don't want the video to be too long. To LaDonna, I don't think you understand the role you have played in our life since the day I met you. I met you when you became a close friend when they took the tumor out of my knee, and you still couponed for me because I was hard-headed and was trying to get to the store. And you've never changed on me. You've been the same person since that day. I can't thank you enough. You have done things for me that nobody else has ever done. And I mean nobody. Not a soul besides my husband. And we can never thank you. We can never thank you enough for all you have done. From your words to your prayers to your actions, you have not let me down. I need you to know that you played a very big part in the reason why I keep fighting daily. And that we love you. To Miss Debbie, I can't even tell you thank you enough on how you've been there for us, for the kids, especially JC on. Have you taken us in as your family? And you got people out here upset, not talking to their family over the simplest things, the stupidest things. And then when somebody dies, here come everybody crying and boo-hooing. Well, for me, save it. Save it. You couldn't even talk to me while I was alive. This is not related to Debbie. Not related to anybody in particular. There's quite a few people that it's for. But you won't even talk to me while I'm here. You won't show up while I'm here. I invite you, you don't come. I come around. I try to see you. I try to talk. Oh, I've tried and you don't come around. And so when I die, keep that same energy. Please don't come around. Please don't shed a tear. And you the ones know who I'm talking to. And I'm not saying that out of anger or hurt. But if you didn't appreciate me while I was here, please do not come with the sadness and the tears once I'm no longer here. I don't care how anybody takes that. I just can't. I can't do it anymore with the people who think because you're blood related, they can talk to you any kind of way and treat you any kind of way and do this and do that. And that's not okay. That's not okay. Get right with people now. Nobody's perfect. I'm not even me. I'm far from perfect. And there's so many people I want to thank. There's so many people I want to thank. But those 3 people, I need you to know you are one of the reasons why I am still fighting. Because I'd rather not be. I am perfectly fine with going upstairs, kissing my 4 kids tonight, going to bed like I do every night, and not see tomorrow because I'm sick of this. I'm tired. All my life, I've taken care of everybody else, protected everybody else, did everything for everybody else to make sure everybody else was happy. And now that I am the one that needs protecting and held up and supported, where are you? So anyway, like I said, I'm going to keep telling my story. There's more to it. I know my video is all over the place. It's so much. I don't even know what to say and not say, what to do, what not to do. I just knew I needed to get it out there. I know I needed to, like I said, when I die, there will be no funeral. I want to be cremated and no black. I have a will. I have everything in place. Advanced directive, medical power of attorney, DNR. Everything is there. And to whatever doctor or nurse sees this video out there, I need y'all to remember every patient is a person. And every person is a patient. It may not make sense to you right now. But stop treating every patient that you see the same, because no 2 people are alike. Just because one thing, I've almost lost my life because I've been treated as a normal patient. I'm not a normal patient. But I feel my anxiety taking over. My chest is hurting. My head is hurting. And so I'm going to end it here. And less than now, it's 12:04, 8 days into surgery. And I have to decide if I'm going to do it or not. And I have to pray that I even wake up off the table. And if I don't do it, how much am I hurting myself? What more damage am I doing? How much longer would I have? What do you do with it? How do you make a decision when every outcome is a bad one? I just rather just take me now so I can be out of my misery. But to everybody out there, just keep praying. Keep being hopeful for me, because I've given up hope on myself. And I know this was a lot of information. And like I said, a lot of it will not make sense to you. You won't understand the enlarged liver, the stenosis, the issue with the pancreatic rest in my stomach. It's very complicated. Very, very complicated situation. I am so rare that doctors are at a standstill on what to do next. If this surgery, this G-tube does not help, death is my next option. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Because your girl is tired. My job from this point forward isn't to save myself. I'm going to teach others how to advocate for themselves and know how to get help. And tell these doctors what you need. Don't let them tell you what you need. You tell them what you need. Because you could end up like me. But thankfully, I know how to speak up for myself and advocate for myself. With that being said, I'm going to end it here, because this is way longer than I expected. But I still have so much to say. So I'm just going to consider this as part 1. And we will go from there. To my friends and family, I know this was a lot of information to process. I need y'all to be okay that I'm dying. Be okay with that. Love me now while you can. Tell me whatever you need to say to me now while you can, because tomorrow isn't promised for me or for you. And it sucks that I have to accept it. I don't want to accept the fact that I'm dying, but I am. And that's okay. That's okay, because everybody has to go at some point. So I'm gonna end this here because I'm about to have a whole breakdown. Just I want everybody to know that I'm trying. When you see me, I'm not okay, so don't ask. Don't ask me if I'm okay, because I'm not. I'm gonna go upstairs and hug my kids and watch them sleep.